Oh,
That's so cool. You are so much better of an astronaut, Paige, than those other fakes.
thank you. And if you're hungry in space, gotta have your floating Fritos to munch on. So I don't want to give GMOs any publicity, but it's all we had hanging around.
Yeah.
Yum, yum, yum.
So it's all
It's
true.
amazing, the zero gravity. It just everything just floats around. Suck my hair because I got a ponytail. And Toots brought some coral up from Vieques, from Puerto Rico.
Oh, very good. Yeah, let me keep pushing up and down and around. Pull it back toward me. Oh, yeah, thanks. Yeah.
Wow.
Push it that way. Unbelievable.
Not bad, huh?
Where'd you get the 60 million a day to pull that off?
Cryptocurrency I've been saving.
Oh, man.
She brought it up. It was fine.
Oh,
Oh, he doesn't back. Oh,
I'm
okay.
back.
Oh no.
Yeah. Not bad, huh?
That reminds me of the brushing your teeth one where everything goes in slow-mo except for the environment. Did you see that one?
Exactly. Yes, I did. That was so awesome.
That was hilarious.
That was hilarious. What another complete bonehead mistake. Again,
When NASA claimed to have put the first man in space, Shenton said from the beginning that it was all photo and video trickery. When John Glenn supposedly orbited the world in 1963, Shenton even sent him a free IFERS membership with a personal message saying, "Okay, wise guy." Shenton knew that John Glenn, two-time U.S. Senator and one of NASA's first astronauts, was a lying Freemason, just like his heliocentric forefathers from Pythagoras to Copernicus, Kepler to Cavendish, along with most all of NASA's astronauts. Buzz Aldrin Jr. is an admitted ring-wearing, hand-sign-flashing 33rd degree Mason from Montclair Lodge No. 144 in New Jersey. Edgar Mitchell is an Order of Demolay Mason at Aresta Lodge No. 29 in New Mexico. James Irwin was a Tejon Lodge No. 104 member in Colorado Springs. Don Eisel was a member of the Luther B. Turner Lodge No. 732 in Ohio. Gordon Cooper was a Master Mason in Carbondale Lodge No. 82 in Colorado. Virgil Grissom was a Master Mason from Mitchell Lodge No. 228 in Indiana. Walter Shira Jr. was a 33rd degree Mason at Canaveral Lodge No. 339 in Florida. Thomas Stafford is a Mason at Western Star Lodge No. 138 in Oklahoma. Paul Weitz is from Lawrence Lodge No. 708 in Pennsylvania. C. Fred Klangnecht, the head of NASA during the Apollo program, shortly thereafter became Sovereign Grand Commander of the Council of the 33rd Degree of the ancient and accepted Scottish Rite of Freemasonry of the Southern Jurisdiction. NASA astronauts Neil Armstrong, Alan Shepard, William Pogue, Vance Brand, and Anthony England all had fathers who were Freemasons as well. The amount of astronauts known to be Freemasons or from Freemasonic families is astonishing. It is likely that more astronauts and people of key importance in NASA are affiliated with the Brotherhood as well, but not so open about their membership. For there to be this many Masons, members of the world's largest and oldest secret society, involved with the promotion and propagation of this globalist heliocentric doctrine from its outset to modern times, should raise some serious suspicion.
In Hollywood's many Masonic productions, we find the 9/11 World Trade Center attacks alluded to in several films long before 2001. In 20th Century Fox's 1988 film Die Hard, for example, the first lines are spoken on a plane about how to get over the fear of flying. One guy says what he's been doing for 9 years, and Bruce Willis says what he's been doing for 11 years. So here we have 9/11 on a plane, talking about fears of flying from a Masonic production company. Notice the one-eye symbolism. In the first Die Hard, John McClane, Bruce Willis, takes on 12 terrorists in a tower. In the second movie, it's terrorists at an airport. Isn't it interesting how in the 1988 movie, we have John McClane afraid of flying, terrorists, towers, 9/11, and in 2008, we had John McCain on a presidential fear campaign revolving around terrorists, towers, and 9/11. In 1998, we also have Bruce Willis saving the world in Masonic Disney Touchstone's Armageddon. Toward the end of the movie, there is a countdown which passes exactly 9 minutes and 11 seconds just as the camera pans past. In another 1998 Disney Touchstone film, Enemy of the State, a politician played by Jon Voight has his birthday on September 11th. In Warner Brothers' 1990 film, Gremlins 2, there are 2 reporters from channels 9 and 11 holding microphones with those numbers juxtaposed. In the 1990 Universal film Problem Child, the Heelys live at house number 911. The actor in this movie, John Ritter, in real life had a baby girl, Stella Ritter, born on 9/11/98. Then 5 years later, suddenly and suspiciously, John died on 9/11/03. At first glance, these synchronicities may seem like mere coincidence, until you realize their Masonic significance and Hollywood's Masonic dominance. In the 1993 Super Mario Bros. Movie, the 2 towers are depicted eerily half-destroyed and smoking, just as they would be on 9/11/2001. In the movie, the twin towers each have on them a large symbol of a hand holding 2 lightning bolts. This is the very aspect of tarot imagery from the Tower card, substituted by hijacked planes on 9/11. In 33rd Degree Mason James Cameron and Columbia TriStar's 1991 Terminator 2 Judgment Day, there is an overpass that warns, "Caution, 9/11." In the 1996 film Independence Day, there is also a countdown which just happens to pass 09/11/01, September 11th, 2001, just as the camera pans across. At the start of another Columbia TriStar picture, 2000's The Sixth Day, Arnold Schwarzenegger looks at his schedule, which has only 2 times, 9 and 11. The same year, in Columbia's The Patriot, Mel Gibson's first words, weighing a chair in the film, are 9 pounds, 11 ounces. Perfect. In 1997 DreamWorks' first film, The Peacemaker, George Clooney is shot perfectly between aisle 9 and 11. In a 1997 episode of The Simpsons, Lisa holds up a magazine that reads New York, $9, with a picture of the Twin Towers after the 9, which looks exactly like 9/11. In 1998's Godzilla, the camera cuts to a wristwatch showing 8:55, with the little hand on the 9 and the big hand on the 11. In 1999's The 13th Floor, a wall clock shows 11:45, with the big hand on the 9 and the little hand on the 11, just as he runs by. In Universal Columbia's 1999 The Bone Collector, Denzel Washington finds a piece of paper from page 119, and the date is 11/9, November 9th. In Warner Brothers' 1999 film The Matrix, Neo's passport expires on exactly September 11th, 2001. In 2000's Traffic, a large delivery truck is shown full of boxes, and on every single box are a Scorpio scorpion symbol and the number 9/11. In March 2001, 6 months before 9/11, the pilot episode for The Lone Gunman aired on Fox, with the plotline being terrorists hijacking a plane and crashing it into the World Trade Center. In 1998, the U.S. Department of Justice FEMA Emergency Response to Terrorism Guide had a cover picture showing the World Trade Center in crosshairs. Another symbolic representation of the 9/11 events was encoded into the year 2000 $20 bill, which, when folded a particular way, resembles the smoking and damaged Twin Towers and the Pentagon. rap group The Coup album Party Music, which came out just after 9/11, originally, in June 2001, had an album cover featuring the artists affront both World Trade Center towers, which have huge explosions and smoke clouds from the upper floors. And in Steve Jackson's 1995 Illuminati New World Order role-playing card game, he predicted both the attacks on the Pentagon and the World Trade Center. Granted, some of this pre-9/11 symbolism could be sheer coincidence, but can you honestly explain away all these synchronicities so simply? The Hebrew Kabbalistic Tree of Life, studied in depth by Masons, displays the Roman numerals IX, XI, or 9/11, when the tree has fallen or is shown on its side. And in the Tarot, also studied by Masons, there is much significance as well. The major arcana card, the Tower, shows a tall tower being struck by lightning, fire coming out the windows, and people falling to their deaths, all of which happened on 9/11, if the lightning is symbolically substituted by an airplane. In the High Priestess Tarot card, Isis, the Statue of Liberty, is seen between the black and white Masonic pillars of Mercy and Severity, Boaz and Jachin, the two towers. The 13th Death Tarot card also shows two towers with the sun between them. In Freemasonry, the 2 or 3 pillars are very important and well known to every Mason. One of the largest Masonic websites is called The 3 Pillars. They are depicted on the first degree tracing board, and they are the 3 columns of the Kabbalistic Tree of Life. The pillars of Solomon's Temple, Sol Om On, 3 words all meaning sun, relate to this as well. Note, World Trade Center 7 was the Solomon Brothers building. The right pillar of Mercy is male, and the left pillar of Severity is female. Between them is the third androgynous pillar of enlightenment and illumination. This is symbolically depicted in the Tarot Death card, where the sun is rising between 2 towers or pillars. In Da Vinci's Last Supper, the back wall, with 2 windows, can be viewed as 3 towers or pillars. On the right is a man pointing, representing the phallic masculine. On the left is a very effeminate John, representing the feminine. And the Son, Jesus, is in the middle. In the movie Spider-Man, there was a deleted scene with the sun rising between the twin towers, symbolizing this as well. Notice SS Sharon Stone, like Isis, is between the 2 pillars, or bars. Just as Isis holds the scales of justice in her hands, the caption to Last Dance says, "Sometimes justice is a crime." Ralph Ellis wrote, "More important, however, is the fact that Mary Magdalene can be seen as being associated with both a tower and the number 7. The name Magdalene can be literally translated from the Greek as meaning tower, and as we have seen, this association between the terms tower and 7 is present in the famous biblical quotation, "Behold, therefore I am against thee, and against thy rivers, and will make the land of Egypt utterly waste and desolate, from the tower of 7, even unto the border of Ethiopia." So Ezekiel's Tower of 7 is none other than the Egyptian Magdal of Sephek, the same title that is now being associated with Mary Magdalene. The Tower of Sephek was historically seen as a prime symbol of Egypt, and because of his notoriety, it has already been identified as with the Great Pyramid, the Great Tower of Egypt. So, overlooking the 7 World Trade Center towers is the Statue of Liberty, Isis or Mary, the Tower of 7, wearing a 7-pointed crown. Just as in the sky, Sirius, or Isis, stands beside the 3 stars of Orion's, or Osiris's, belt. On the ground, Isis, the Statue of Liberty, stands beside 3 collapsing towers. The 3 buildings that collapsed, buildings 1, 2, and 7, perfectly replicate in size and distance both the 3 pyramids at Giza and the 3 stars in Orion's belt. World Trade Center buildings 1 and 2 were very tall, with a shorter building 7 off to the side. Similarly, there are 2 large pyramids at Giza and a smaller pyramid off to the side. Not to mention, before being destroyed on 9/11, there actually stood a huge model of the 3 Giza pyramids at the base of the World Trade Center. The Giza pyramids themselves were modeled after Orion's belt, which consists of 2 bright stars and another slightly less bright one off to the side. The ancient Egyptians associated Orion's belt with the god Osiris, the husband of Isis, Sirius. Their son is our sun, Horus, the sun god. Ralph Ellis wrote, "For instance, this is why the tracing board portrays the 3 pillars as all being of different heights, with 2 larger pillars in the foreground and a much smaller one behind. This is not simply a matter of perspective, as the 2 foreground pillars are placed at exactly the same depth within the picture, but are given slightly different heights, while a much smaller pillar lies behind. Yet this depiction exactly reflects the reality at Giza, where 2 major pyramids are nearly but not quite of the same height, while the third is much smaller. Sirius, the dog star, is so called because it lies in the constellation Canis Major. Canine, Latin for dog, was shortened by the Masons in Hollywood to K9 in Doctor Who and Rin Tin Tin K9 Cop. NASA even has a Mars rover called K9. Since K is the 11th letter in the alphabet, K9 is numerically 11-9, or 9/11. Before 1679, the constellation Columba, the Dove, occupied the same space as, was one with, Canis Major, Sirius. Since then, they have drifted apart, but symbolically the Illuminati still associate the Dove with Sirius, Isis, and Mary. The Columbine blazing star flower, columb meaning dove, is a 5-petaled flower. In ancient Egypt, the hieroglyph for Sirius included a 5-pointed star. In the U.S. District of Columbia, the Masons built numerous 5-pointed star pentagrams into the roads and architecture. Is it not coincidental how the 5-sided Pentagon building would be attacked on 9/11/2001, the same day it began construction 60 years prior, on 9/11/1941? And is it not interesting how the numbers 9/11 and 5 both relate back to Sirius, the K9, and Sirius, the Columbine, 5-pointed blazing star? Is this all some elaborate calling card, or predictive programming employed by the Freemasons, or does it serve some other secret purpose?
Hello, my dear friends. July the 8th was a very interesting day. It was the day that even the Weather Channel proclaimed to be an impossible day on the globe. It was the day when the heliocentric model shot itself dead. I only found one video, and that was also made by the Weather Channel, trying to demonstrate this event on the globe. And as we can see here, the light of the sun clearly covers 60 to 70% of the globe. So we have 60 to 70% of the globe wrapped in sunlight. That's impossible on the heliocentric model. The sunlight cannot cover more than 50% of the globe. But as you see on this simulation by the Weather Channel, to be possible for the sunlight to cover all those regions on Earth, it's necessary that the sunlight covers between 60 to 70% of the globe. Not being able to show, many news channels are showing the Mercator's projection because that's the only one they can show.
One more thing this half hour. There is a rare phenomenon happening right now across the globe. As of about 3 minutes ago, 7:15 Eastern Time, 99% of the entire world's population is facing the sun. That means we're all experiencing some degree of sunlight at the exact same time, either full daylight or for a lot of other folks, twilight. If you look at the map right there, just the Pacific Islands and Australia, the Australian region, are fully in the dark. 99% of the world.
And California. Poor California.
Yes.
You know what, though? What a cool phenomenon.
This poor guy, he tried to demonstrate on the globe how that could be possible, but he failed miserably, so he had to go to his computer and demonstrate on the Mercator's projection.
On July 8th of every year at 11:15 Universal Time, that translates to about 7:15 Eastern Time, 99% of the world's population, just over 99% of the world's population, is actually in sunlight.
2 hours later.
The reason is actually kind of interesting once we kind of delve into this a bit.
7 hours later.
So, I mean, if you look at the Pacific Ocean, this just kind of gives you a rough idea. Imagine if the sun was lighting up this section of the Earth. Do you see that there'd be a very small amount of Earth's population? Right. But over here, when you get Asia, Africa, maybe some of North America and some South America, you can see that you have a much larger percentage of the Earth's population that could be in sunlight.
1 eternity later.
Let me reference this tweet. It's actually kind of cool. And if we take a look, they actually put a map with it that helps explain this just a little bit. So if I zoom in just a tad, what you can see is that each July 8th at 11:15 UTC, Universal Time, that's Greenwich Mean Time if you're kind of curious, right through Greenwich, England.
So it is impossible for the sunlight to wrap around the globe between 60 to 70%. So there is no other day like July 8th to demonstrate how wrong the heliocentric model is. And to better understand, all we have to do is to convert the Mercator projection into the flat Earth map and see how it makes more sense on the flat Earth map. With a small sun, a small local sun, you can see here how it illuminates those regions on Earth, leaving the majority of Earth in the dark. Only on the flat Earth model, even this map by Weather Channel, I converted into a flat Earth map, and you can see here it's better explained with a small and local sun circulating over the flat Earth. We can see how this is possible for a day like July the 8th. If you still believe in the heliocentric model, yesterday was the day for you to drop that model and realize we don't live on a spinning ball spinning around the universe. So this is just a short video. The Earth is flat. Keep it flat, guys. See you the next time. Bye bye.
If the Earth is 25,000 miles in circumference, there must exist a curvature drop of 8 inches times the mile when you square the mile. 1 mile means there should be an 8-inch curvature drop. 2 miles, 2 times 2 times 8, is 32. That's 32-inch drop. 3 miles would be a 72-inch drop. And this would exponentially continue. Here's the longest bridge in the world, the Danyang Kongchong Grand Bridge in China. 102.4 miles long. There should exist nearly 7,000 feet of curvature drop in that bridge. 7,000 foot curvature drop. Do you see it? It ain't there. Look at the horizon. It's flat.
Alors, on l'a jamais vu de nos propres yeux si elle est vraiment ronde. Voilà, on peut se poser la question.